Let's talk about covering your shift. I'm going to go through a little bit of a training for you on how to understand and utilize the sublist, and then another one on kind of looking at the staff schedule to figure out and strategize who is best appropriate to cover your shift. We have worked really hard to do a couple things. Number one, to hire staff that are looking to pick up shifts. So substitutes. Maybe it's just ideal for them. They only want to sub. We have that. Also, it's oftentimes someone that wants to work with us full time. So they're going to jump on our sub list and work their way into a few classrooms, into both centers, eventually hoping to land a part-time or full-time shift. So there's lots of scenarios. But we've captured their information on our sub list. You can access the sub list just as easily as you can access the Fruita or Grand Junction staff schedule. And so I'll show you here in a second on how to really interpret and understand the availability of different individuals to sub in Fruita, sub in Junction, and that is a constant developing list of information. So the information you're going to see, those staff may not even be with us anymore. Some of them likely will. But the important thing is how that sub list is organized. So I've got that. And then again, we'll talk about the staff schedule and how to try to cover your shifts with staff that are best appropriate. Most important, I want you to understand, it is the expectation of Discovery and Admin that if you are going to be sick, and we're all going to be sick, that you put a plan in place. The moment you know you start feeling poorly and potentially aren't able to come in and cover your shift, that a plan is in place so that everybody else is not scrambling at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. There's a saying that says, your emergency does not necessarily mean it should be my emergency. So please don't put that on everybody else. Please don't call a director or text them at 5:30 in the morning and say, I'm not feeling well, I'm not going to be in, and leave it at that. You're saying that my emergency is now your problem, and that is not acceptable. It's not professional. It's not respectful. And you say to yourself, but I was sick, I was throwing up. What I'm going to ask you to say to yourself is, and I didn't take any time prior to starting feeling poorly to try to put a plan A, B, and C in place in case I couldn't show up the next day. If you are going to be a long timer with Discovery, if you're going to be a core staff member, someone you want us to rely on and demonstrate your accountability, I need you desperately to take your shift serious. Make plans in advance. The moment you go, I may not be able to come into work tomorrow, get a plan B in place. And here's what you can do. Look at the sub list, look at the schedule, reach out to Nancy and say, hey, Nancy, I'm not feeling well. I'm worried about tomorrow. If I can't make it in, would you be available to cover my shift? She might go, yeah, no problem. Work it out. Go, okay, I'm usually up at 5 to get in by 7. If I don't feel well, I'll send you a message at 5:30. Is that possible? So you're asking Nancy to kind of be on call, but you have someone in place. That's way better than trying to get her up out of bed at 5:30, 5:45. She's not answering your message. Now you start to panic. You call the director. You see what I mean? This is why you need to have a plan in place the moment you think you're going to be out or possibly might be out in place. Now let's do this. Let's say you feel pretty good at night and you wake up just terribly sick. Did you have a plan in place? So you need to have a healthy plan as well as a sick plan. We talked about that. Now let's talk about the healthy plan. Know who you should call. If Nancy is your constant go-to to cover your shift, just know that have an arrangement with Nancy that you would text her or Vox her or call her. Maybe Vox, you can't rely on Voxer all the time or whatever mechanism we're using. If it's, Wi-Fi based and you can see that it's been sent, but it hasn't been played or received. You can do that on text as well. So understand the technology you're using and what technology you need to reach this person at the right time. So anyway, let's say that Tanya is the one that is your go-to to cover your shift. make sure you know in advance on your healthy day. Say, hey, Tanya, what time do I need to wake you up in order for you to cover an 8 o'clock shift? So say, I need 30 minutes or I need an hour and a half. Work that out in advance. Do not get complacent and just expect everybody else to scramble and cover your shift. That is on you. We all are early childhood professionals. We need you to take accountability for that. So make those plans in advance. The sick plan, which is, I'm not feeling well, I'm afraid I might not make it in, then make a plan in advance. And then there's that plan of, okay, I'm good, but what if I'm sick? Or what if my child is sick? Or what if I have a car accident and I can't get in? Who is my go-to? Look at the schedule, know ahead of the time, make some provisions in advance with staff on when to reach out to them so they can step in for you. You're going to find the sublist in the folder that's called Discovery Staff. So you can do this right on your phone. This is the same place you're finding the Fruita schedule, the Grand Junction schedule. Here is a folder on classroom supplies, staff trainings that you can launch from, and sublists. So let's open up the sublist, and here we go. Covering our shift. These names are going to change, the numbers are going to change, the priority, everything, but you need to learn how to use this shift, this sheet. So right now, at the top of the list, I've got Jennifer Kelchner. So she is a go-to on covering your shift, all right? And then I'd go to Crystal next, then David, then Shai, then Leah, then Morgan, then Jesse, and so on all the way down the list. And that will continue to change. It'll change before you watch this video. The important thing is, consider the people at the top of the list. I try to put the most likely to cover at the top, and that will change sometimes weekly. So there's her number. This says that Jennifer is willing to cover in Fruita or Junction. Says working in GJ most days. That's not applicable right now, so I'll delete that. I'm going to put text only. So Jennifer is deaf, so she cannot take phone calls. So you would text her. She is amazing. She has 15 years of experience. She's a lead teacher, and she's terrific, but you've got to text her. So now I'll continue to clean this up over here. Over here, if I hover my mouse or you click probably on a phone over here, it'll tell you about Jennifer over here. So it says Jennifer has care for her kids some days and some days she does not. Show more. Jennifer is also deaf. She is reachable through text. That is her main form of communication. She's able to hear some sounds and is able to read lips. She has over thousands of hours of working with children. If I scroll down, it says she currently has a second job. So notice up here it says November 12th. I posted this when we kind of got her started in classrooms. And then down here on December 23rd, I made another informational bit for you. It says currently has a second job in retails. But this job is later in the day. I believe she can sub until about 4:30 p.m. each day. So if you need a morning shift covered, you need to reach out to her, okay? You need to send her a text and say, hey, I've got a shift tomorrow. Do you think you could cover this? Okay? She's not on Voxer, but this is how you read these. And so I will change her date over here to today, which is 1/23/2020. Okay, so this is when these comments and this is going to be updated. Now, let me help you with a couple things. If you're a lead and you don't have another lead in your room, you need to cover yourself with a lead. So I think down at the bottom, there we go. We've got this. So a lead teacher has 2 asterisks. A director has 3. An assistant ECT or early childhood teacher has 1 asterisk. And this means they're a lead, but documentation is pending. So go back up to Jennifer. She's lead teacher 100%, but admin needs to make sure we get her file documented. So if licensing comes in, they go, we're good. She's a lead. So we just need to work with, that means we're working with this individual to make sure their file is good. But in this case, I would put documentation pending with 2 asterisks for a lead. Crystal's a director, which is good for director coverage and lead coverage. David, lead coverage. Shy doesn't have anything by her name, so she would be an just a teacher's aide. Leah is a lead. I got to make sure her file is tight. That's why she has that caret, I think that's called. Morgan's a lead, and so forth. So if they don't have anything by their name, they would be an aide, so know that. And we'll continue to work to try to keep this updated. You've got phone numbers. Leah can work at both locations. So I will make sure I update that. This is her current schedule. So this says availability to sub these days and hours. Monday and Friday. Leah can work 3:15 to 6. On Tuesday and Thursday, she can work 3:30 to 6. Friday, she gets like out of a lab Friday at like 4:45. So this is her non-scheduled availability. You'll see the CMU over here, so that's obviously based on CMU schedule. I'm going to put over here scheduled in GJ. So Tuesday, Thursday, she has no availability. She is scheduled in GJ. What does that mean? Well, if you were to look at the Grand Junction schedule, you'll see here's Leah. She's scheduled Tuesday and Thursday. Her only availability is taken. So stick with this, all right? If I hover over here, she doesn't have any comments, and we updated this just the other day, okay? So you have got to learn how to read this stuff, okay? And again, it's going to change. It's going to be fluid. So we'll talk others about strategies, but I want to make sure you understand everything that there is to know about this. As a sub, you need to make sure this is current. So pay attention. So David, make sure your phone number's right. Make sure this is correct. Monday through Friday, 7 to 4:30. If I hover over here, it says David has worked at both locations in the past. He's spent 2-3 years with us, primarily preschool, school-age classroom, but can sub anywhere. He now works at Ariel, evenings some days and full days on the weekends. So this is where you're going to find out more about who you're calling, okay? As a sub, make sure you update this. Let me know. Myself or admin will continue to update this information so that others can help cover their shift better. Let's cruise through some more just so you understand how to read this. Crystal, Monday through Thursday, 9:15 to 3:15. Friday, 9:15 to 1:15. Not available when school is out. And over here, it talks about, we've got the wrong, so I need to delete that comment. So and let's see if there's any other comments. There we go. Jennifer's comment got put in there. So for Crystal, her comment says, has a child at Appleton. Her girl's over at Appleton Elementary. She's like first grade this year. So she can only work while her child is in session. So if it's a non-school day, she's not available, which is why it says NA or not available when school is out. All right, David, we talked about. Chai, we talked about Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Spring, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all day. And then, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, dash, all day. And then Tuesday, Thursday, not available. So her class schedule, Tuesday, Thursday, she's just completely booked. So that's a good way to clean that up. Leah, we talked about. Morgan. So right now, Morgan is working at the warehouse. And so over here, can take calls as early as 7, as late as 10 p.m. So if I wanted to add more to this, I think I would right-click here and I can comment again. And I would just say, currently working at the warehouse. So you know what her thing is. So this will be a reply so that we have a little bit of dialogue over here. Okay. And I could come in here and I could update this for today. So Jessie, so I'll update this a little bit. She'll work both, but you really need to reach out to Jessie. So prefers day in advance notice. Okay, that really works for her. Serenity, Monday, and this means Monday and Friday available all day. This is Serenity. Tuesday, Thursday, this is her available. Wednesday, she's got some little availability in the morning. So Wednesday she can work 7 to 12:30 and 4 to 6. Thursday not available. But you'll find that Serenity, if you look at the schedule, her typical schedule, let's find a good typical one. That's not typical. There we go. So Serenity is on a shift Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 6. So when you're covering your shift, you need to learn to look at the sub list. You're looking at Serenity, and then you need to look at Grand Junction staff because you know she works there. And it shows here. So we'll try our best to not have her typical scheduled time on the staff list. So if she's available Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but she works from 1 to 6, over here I'm going to put Monday, Wednesday, Friday, available 7 to 1. That's really what that should say. Okay, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, I've got that covered. I can delete that. I don't need that. There we go. That's what it should say for her. So Monday, Wednesday available 7 to 1. That means she's available that day. She's not scheduled. And then Tuesday, she's got this window in the middle, and Thursday she's out. So that's a good one for her. And then I'm going to delete that. I'm going to update this so you know that as of today, that's pretty good. Interested in pick up as many hours as available on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, currently unscheduled. Todd 2. So there's a little bit more information there for you. So you've got to learn to read this. If you're needing to cover your shift, there's Austin. Austin, we always take him and we'll move him down to the bottom. He is full-time with us. He's maintenance and repair, but he can step in as an aide whenever. But we need to focus on getting these individuals hours if possible. Let's look at Nelia, sub availability on CMU non-school days. So we already have her booked as much as we can, but she's there. Kiana, so Kiana would be a better sub. She's high school at GJ High School. Here's her number. This means she just wants to sub in Junction, Monday through Friday afternoon shift. Okay? And over here, we'll take calls as early. So this is accurate for her. So let me go ahead and update hers for January 23rd. Okay? So we will continue to update these, but you need to learn how to read the sub list so you can figure out who to call. Okay, you have everybody's number here. If you scroll down, you've got Fruta staff. So this means that these individuals, Sammy's not with us anymore, are currently working full-time shifts. They really don't have the ability to sub, although this is how you can reach out to them. And they're already booked for 40 hours a week. So you may need sometimes to try to ask someone that, like maybe Gina. Here you see she is working 4/10s, but maybe if you're going to be sick or want to be out on a Monday, maybe Gina could work your Monday in, let's say, Todd's, and then you could work her Wednesday in early preschool. So think about how you can cross over with full-time people as well. You cover their day off, they cover a day you need off, and so forth. All right. So anyway, here's some Fruta staff. Here's some Junction staff here. We're going to continue to do our best to keep you updated here. There is my cell phone. There's Kim's cell phone. Down here at the bottom, non-teacher workdays. So Sam worked for us in Junction for years. She's now a SPED teacher at Tope Elementary. But if it's a non-school day, she is often interested in coming into work. So you could reach out to her if it's a non-D51 school day. So, all right, there is all of that. All right, there's more. Focus, take your time, cover your shift in advance, make a plan in advance. If it is Wednesday at 2 o'clock and you went home sick, that evening, make a plan. Call David, call Leah, make a plan for Thursday just in case you wake up that morning still not feeling well. Okay, let's talk about covering your shift from an aspect of evaluating the staff schedule. So here's a Grand Junction staff schedule. Here's a Fruita staff schedule. Always try to cover your shift with other staff members that work in your classroom. Start there first. Make sure you're covering your shift and talking to your co-teachers if you are having time coming up where you think you're going to maybe need to be off. If you're starting to feel sick. Here's a great example. So in our Todd 1 classroom in Grand Junction, we have Kristen, Jennifer, and Melody. And Melody is kind of our floater. She covers whatever Kristen and Jennifer can't work. These gals are all on 10s. Kristen works Monday through Friday, has Friday off, and Melody works her Friday. Jennifer has Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Melody works her Wednesday. So if Jennifer needs next Friday off, if Jennifer needs next Thursday off, who do you think she should talk to? She should talk to Melody. So in that case, let's say that Jennifer's going to take Thursday off, so she switches with Melody, and now Jennifer's going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Melody's going to work her Thursday and Kristen's Friday. Okay? These are simple changes we can do. You need to learn to talk to your co-teachers and try to work with them to trade shifts and cover your shifts. Okay? Super important. Let's take another scenario. So let's say that Gina needs Wednesday off. So Gina is going to be feeling sick on Wednesday. So she needs to try to cover that. Who should she reach out to? Well, here's the people that are typically in her schedule. Let's see if Sam can work her Wednesday. Is Sam anywhere else on the schedule? Well, as I come down here, I see that Sam is here in the morning. Okay? So, scratching my head, well, can Sam be in two places at once? No. But I see that Sam could work in the morning. So maybe I could have Sam work 7:40 until 11:50. Right? Your morning is starting to get covered. Okay, see that? So then I go, well, who's covering Sam in the afternoon here? So I look here, I go, well, it looks like Liz has a full day. Nancy does. Looks like Shale is off in the afternoon at 1:30, so Sam is finishing her second half of the day. So let me see, could maybe Shale work a long day? Could Shale work a 4:45 like some of these other days? If so, then maybe Shale could work 4:45, or maybe she could work till 6. And then I freeze Sam up to work my entire schedule. See that? So then we could take Sam off completely, and it looks like I've kind of borrowed some staff for preschool, but I've talked to Shale and she could fill in. I really need you to begin to think beyond your own shift and your own schedule and your own needs to figure out what is the smartest way to cover my shift with the right person, with the person that can be there the most, that is in your classroom the most. And maybe Shale can't work in the afternoon, but then we reach over to the sub list and we go, okay, who could work in the afternoon? Right? That was a Wednesday. So let's find someone that could work Wednesday afternoon. Well, this says that Leah can work Monday, Wednesday from 3:15 to 6, doesn't it? So she would be a good candidate. If I look at Serenity is available. Nope. She's only available Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 to 1. So Wednesday would be a good day for Leah. Serenity's in there. Where's Shy? I know she's available. There you go. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all day. So Shy could work. Shy could pick up this 11:50 to 6 o'clock shift. Right? But you've got to look at a schedule and then look back at the sub list to find out who could fill in the gaps. Okay, let me warn you that if you reach out to your director, your admin, and say, I don't feel well, I can't come in today, and that's all you give us, you're likely to get this next video sent to you. This message being sent to you now means that it appears that you did not make any effort, or you made nil or little effort to cover your shift. We need you to take accountability, get your shift covered with the strategies that we've put in place and the expectations in advance. My guess is you've reached out to someone and said, I'm sick, I feel terrible, I can't come in. But the reality is you missed opportunities previous to this moment to work to get a plan A, B, and C in place. You've got to get yourself together. You've got to get your shift covered, make every event, every attempt to get it covered in advance. If you feel that this message is too harsh, then breathe and reach out to your director at a time appropriate, probably sooner than later is best, and say, I did try to make these few events or attempts to reach out, and I called this and this and this, but you didn't communicate that originally. That's why you got this message. So be clear, we really need you to step up your game or step up your communication in getting your shift covered. So if you just got that last video sent to you, I would encourage you to consider this. I'm not asking you to quit. I'm asking you to rethink your commitment to the center, to your co-teachers. Most importantly, the co-teachers and your kids on, did I do everything in my power and my ability to make sure that I got my shift covered the best way, the most responsible way? Did I take ownership and responsibility for being sick? There's a lot of reasons we're sick. I didn't get my flu shot. I didn't take care of myself. I stayed up late too late last night. All those things. So we're just really asking you to really consider where you're at in your commitment to your job, to your co-teachers, to your classroom. Thank you.